Watch Dogs Legion follows the series' established hack-heavy formula, but the new recruitment system adds a refreshing layer of intrigue underneath your run-of-the-mill missions. From potential new weapons to lovable characters with fascinating backgrounds and recruitment missions, you have nothing to lose and everything to gain by expanding DedSec. Set in near-future London, society is in an authoritarian state as Albion, a private military corporation, has taken over policing while an intelligence community spies on London citizens. DedSec is fighting back. In keeping with the series' norms, Watch Dogs Legion operates in the extremes of tech gone too far and corporations up to no good. It's what I expect, but as an exaggeration of where society could head, some storylines are more believable and intriguing than others. An Albion security guard making a janky deal to get medicine seems like a natural extension of the current ways governments fail their people, but other situations and characters come off more cartoonishly evil than cleverly dystopian. Making every character playable is a narrative risk, but it's one Watch Dogs Legion seems to pull off based on what I've played so far. The script differences highlight each character as a unique individual rather than a generic stand-in. From the reserved yet no-nonsense attitude of the old lady I added to my team, to my recently recruited Albion guard, frantically chatting while she drives towards her first mission with DedSec.
Am I technically still the driver if this is self-driving?
While there are new elements to Watch Dogs Legion, the fundamentals are still present. Take over cameras to redirect power, download data, or attack others. Or go straight into combat, which leans even more heavily on player choice, with enemies only using melee attacks, that is, until you pull out your gun and decide it's time for a firefight. My demo dropped me to the midpoint of the game, where missions were a routine to-do list of heading from location to location, hacking drones to scope out the area, and then hacking cameras to gain access or cause mayhem. The loop may be familiar, but that doesn't make it any less fun. As usual, I found that causing destruction without getting my hands dirty was far more amusing than doing stealth takedowns of less than intelligent AI. Seeing how many enemies I could kill by stringing hacks to set off carefully timed explosions before I even stepped foot in the building never ceased to satisfy. Fast travel still exists, and some characters even have their own vehicles, often equipped with useful tech, but otherwise there's good old-fashioned carjacking. Driving still feels arcadey, but some vehicles control better than others. The narrower and more roundabout-filled London streets make for a slower, more challenging drive than speeding down San Francisco did. There are a few clever touches, like the option to steal a self-driving car, and the fact that running over someone makes them like you less. Albion may come after you if they see you commit a crime, but losing them isn't too difficult as long as you put enough distance between the two of you. Of course, if you get cornered, you're in a persistent fight. Watch Dogs Legion's biggest and most impressive differentiator is the ability to play as anyone. Though getting complete intel on a person, down to their schedule, requires you to upgrade the Deep Profiler. Getting to know them will tip you off to what they're looking for, and following up with their needs will unlock their recruitment mission. The Borough Uprising system lets you take on missions to empower a borough and give them a more positive outlook on DedSec. Some recruitments will be mandatory as part of the campaign, such as a guard, but you mostly have free reign. If you just want the best of the best, DedSec will mark a few people of interest on your map who have been predetermined as good recruits. The first person who caught my eye was an adorable old lady who was looking for some darts competition. So I met her at the pub and did just that. Winning led to her recruitment mission of investigating how her job replaced 300 workers who were laid off.
It's preposterous!
I could see this recruitment loop getting stale over time, but during my brief session, I adored every moment of it because I was doing it for my new potential teammate, and my reward was having her there for the rest of my adventure, despite the fact that the mission itself was nothing special. Unfortunately, she was arrested shortly after being recruited. You can go to the police station and potentially get folks out early, but the easier solution is to just switch to a different operative until the timer is up and they're playable again. Each character has their own loadouts, perks, professions, personalities, and backgrounds. Weapons and tools are shared across your team and can be swapped, but there are gadgets and guns that are locked to certain character types. Uniform access allows for certain characters to enter restricted areas more easily. So walking into a construction site as a construction worker meant it'd take longer for enemies to notice I didn't belong. My assassin had a slew of powerful guns at her disposal, while my graffiti artist had a paintball gun and would spray folks in the face after executing a takedown. Even across people from the same profession, there's some level of weapon variation. Overall, I thoroughly enjoyed my time with Watch Dogs Legion and grew attached to the different characters, their arsenals, and their sparkling personalities. The lack of a primary main character doesn't detract from the story. Instead, it incentivizes exploring and immersing myself in a world I otherwise may have ignored in favor of mainlining the campaign. Make sure to read the full preview on IGN.com, and for everything else, you're already in the right place. IGN.
I'll buy you some time. Just go.
Take him out!